Hey everyone, Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. So welcome back to another dye with me. So today we're going to be heading to the dye pots, dyeing up some yarn and talking all about it. So I hope you guys are excited. Today's dye with me is going to be pretty simple. It's been a very busy week. Some late night dye sessions, all good things, all good busy things, but busy nonetheless. And so I kind of decided to go into this dye with me just kind of no pressure. So this was a no pressure dye. It was a dye my feelings, dye what I want, how I want type of thing. So not really much of a topic, not an experiment, nothing that will be groundbreaking by any means. I just had some fun in the dye pot. So just picked out whatever color was speaking to me in that moment, applied it, did not think twice about it, and moved on. So I dyed up two different colorways that you guys will get to see here. Again, I didn't really try to control the dyes by any means, so I'm gonna play the dye with me portion and I'm not going to narrate it. We'll just kind of talk about it a little bit at the end. And talk about kind of why I picked what I did. But again, there's really not much to discuss, just a fun day of dyeing. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I did some things a little bit differently than I think I normally do. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. So yeah, we'll head to the dye pots in a second. Before we do, I just want to remind you all that I do have my Dye With Me club. If you don't know what that is, I will talk about it in more detail at the end, just because if you do know what it is, you might not want to hear about it. But just a quick note that if you're watching this the day that it airs, it would be June 1st. And so the renewals kind of happen today for all active memberships, which means that if you wanted to sign up and it was sold out, you can start signing up again tomorrow. I'll reopen it back up to everyone. So a convoluted way to say that on June 2nd, tomorrow, if you're watching this the day it airs, or on June 2nd, whenever that happened or will happen for you, the clubs are now back open for the July 1st renewals. The other thing I wanted to say is if you do like Dye With Me's and you missed the live stream that I did on Sunday as part of the splash pad party, it was kind of a live Dye With Me in the sense that I pre-recorded the dyeing and then just talked live. I also want to say that I'm filming this before it actually happened, so that is still my plan of what I'm going to do, but it may not have actually happened that way. I don't know. But yeah, in any case, I did do a live stream on Saturday, so regardless of what the topic is, make sure you head back and watch that, and also check out the Downseller Studio podcast and join in on the splash pad party this summer. It's a really low-key make along. You make whatever you want, and depending on how large it is how many entries you get to win awesome prizes, such as a gift card to my shop. You can also win a gift card to my shop kind of separately by using hashtag agirlandherwool and hashtag AGAHW birthday now through the end of June. And in early July, I will announce a winner here on my channel. There isn't too much that you need to do in order to enter. It just has to be a post that involves a girl and her wool. So maybe you're watching this vlog and you want to snap a picture and post it, or you have a stash you want to show, or you do have a finished project or a work in progress. Maybe you have some craft journal stickers to show. Whatever it is you want to show, just make sure you use those hashtags on Instagram and post your picture. You can enter as many times as you want, and again, I will pick the winner randomly in the beginning of July. The other thing I just want to mention really quickly here at the beginning, I'll talk about it again in more detail at the end, but I do have the Dye With Me club. If you want to purchase any of the skeins you see in the video today, you can do so by joining the Dye With Me club. That's the only way to actually receive these skeins. I don't list them separately for sale. The other thing is, if you have questions about what dyeing tools I use, you'll find a link in the description that takes you to my FAQs page on my website at agirlandherwool.com. And you can find all of the links there for the tools that I use. So the last thing that I just wanted to mention here before we head to the dye pots is that I have a new listing in my shop that is all about supporting a girl and her wool. So while you watch this video, if you feel like you enjoyed it or you learned something, or if you watch any of my Dye With Me videos and you feel like you're learning or enjoying and you want to support me, but maybe yarn isn't available to you to purchase right now, or maybe my style of dyeing isn't right for you, even if you do enjoy the videos, maybe you're just not a fan of the actual yarn that I dye up, that is totally fine. But you want to continue to support me, my channel here, as well as like what I offer here on my channel. I have 2 listings now in my shop. One of them is a one-time donation that you pick however much you want to donate. If you want to donate $1, it's all appreciated. There's also a separate listing for recurring donations. So I have those linked down below. Again, if you feel inclined to support me and my channel, you can do so there. And again, you don't get anything in return except for my big thank you from the bottom of my heart. So that is what's new. Again, I hope you guys enjoy this vlog. Again, it's more low-key today, but definitely go back and watch May's vlogs if you haven't yet, because in those we did 2 very interesting topics, so I'm sure you guys will want to see those if you haven't already. The other thing is there will be 3 Dye With Me vlogs throughout June, so lots to see around here. Anyway, let's head to the dye pots, and then of course stick around at the end for when we talk about it. and we're back. So I'm going to show you the two colors that we dyed up. Again, this was a very low-key dye. I didn't use very many colors. I didn't really speckle. I just kind of applied the dye and had fun with it. So it's always fun to play. I personally just I don't make enough time to do things like this. It's always all about getting orders dyed, thinking about new repeatable colorways. And I just rarely take the time to really sit down, I guess, stand up and dye just random colors that really just speak to me without the pressure of, oh, is everyone gonna like it? Oh, is this gonna be repeatable? Oh, is this too similar to that other colorway? Oh, what will it match? Will it be good for shawls? Is this a sweater colorway? So many questions that I ask myself when I'm dyeing yarn, and yesterday I literally like applied the color and walked away and let it set. I just like did not try to control it by any means, and it was really nice and really fun. So let's look at the first colorway first. So this was like that blue skein. Anyway, I dyed them all up mostly on sock. I think each colorway got 1 DK and 4 sock skeins. So let me show you what they look like. You're probably getting a little sneak peek. Wait for it. I'm getting delirious. So here it is. This is the first skein that we dyed up. So you can see very bright and blue, some of the pink in there that just kind of gave it overall purple feel in some spots. And then we did like a dark blue, and then we did a gray, I think. Yes, that is right. See, I wasn't even paying attention so much, I don't even remember what we did. So holding kind of one up here, so again, we did that very bright blue, and I speckled it around. The thing that I kind of referenced in the beginning by saying I did things like a little bit differently today, or when I was dyeing those pans, was I had the water level pretty high. I usually, when I dye, keep it pretty low. There are certain colorways that I keep it like very low, and then others that are just somewhat low. Like those are my two levels. Very low if I'm gonna be speckling and I wanna keep colors very separate, or somewhat low where, again, I can have a lot of yarn above the water, but not have it like too separate. And then I guess when I do tonals, I lift it up a little bit higher. So maybe I'm like very low, and then like medium. But I rarely have the water this high. And so it just led to more bleeding of the colors. You know, the blue is in there, and you definitely get brighter blue sections where it was speckled, but the skein overall is blue. There's really no white left. It might be getting blown out on camera, but in real life, there's really no white in the skein. Similarly, you can see you get pink, but you also get a lot of purple in there. The pink and the blue really did kind of blend together in some places. You can probably see it better in some of these other skeins. So you can see here, again, in addition to not like thinking about where the dye went, I did not try to make these 5 skeins even. Like, in fact, when I put them in the pan, some were piled, like you've seen me do a mount, and some I kind of like laid flat. Like I really just tried to wing it completely. Didn't even pile them in the pan the same. But anyway, so on this one you do see the pink, but really you kind of get a really overall purple feel for that section. So again, you'd expect it. Pink and blue are gonna make a purple, so it was expected. Again, if I wanted to make sure they stayed separate, I would have not let the dyes bleed into the water as much, but again, I was totally fine with the blending. So yeah, I also speckled a darker blue, which you can see in here. I think I did a darker blue. If not, forgive me. A darker blue. Yeah, I think that's right. So I speckled the dark blue, so we get the bits. I mean, I definitely did. This is definitely the blue, not a gray. So I definitely speckled the blue. Even here, you can see that it's a blue. Right in here, and a blue, and it kind of like bled a little bit, so you get like a shadow effect of it. And then I put gray in a bottle, and I just kind of tried to cover up the white spots. So you kind of see that in here where it's a lighter it's a lighter section, but it's not white. It's like a very light pale gray. So some of my favorite colors in there, I definitely, you guys probably know, lean towards blues and pinks, and I love kind of gray, adding gray to things. I think you guys see that a lot in my colors. So again, these are those 5 skeins, which was a fun color. Okay, so for color number 2, I did something completely different with that one. I left a lot of the white there. I didn't play with a lot of colors. I just kind of, again, did what I felt like. So, and again, the DK skein is not here, so it must be upstairs still on my drying rack. I thought I pulled the Dye With Me skeins, but I actually have a skein of the Splash Pad Party colorway here, so I must have brought that down instead. But anyway, you can see the color. So I am in a silly mood because I am so sleep deprived right now. So I feel like I'm very energetic right now, mostly because I feel like I'm so overtired. Like I am so very sleep deprived. But anyway, here is the second color. So a mostly white and gray skein, but of course you do get the blips of the pink that we put on there, which is what I started with, right? So you can see kind of in here, it's a very muted reddish pink, which is a really pretty color, and I just kind of speckled it randomly and let it again bleed in. I don't think I like pushed it into the water, the dye, so much, which is why you do get these speckles, but it did bleed in some spots, so you get that too. This is another good example where you get the speckles of it, but then you also get the sections where it kind of blended in. There's not that much of it. So again, something to keep in mind when I'm dyeing, it looks like I covered everything up, right? But then when you look at the finished skeins, there's not that much of them. And it's something that I always think about when I'm dyeing. Like, it's good to start small because you can always add more. But a lot of the times there's just, I say this so much on this channel, but there's so much yarn in there that even if you just cover a little bit of the top, it looks like you've used so much, and then when you pull it up and you see the whole skein, it's like, oh, I just kind of did one spot of it. So something to keep in mind. So after the pink, I did the black, which you can definitely see the black. One thing I want to say about the black is, again, it looked like I probably used a lot of it, but I didn't. Because the water level was so high, I knew the black would get diluted. So, and it turns into like a gray, which you see throughout all these skeins, right? So there's black, but even where that black is, you can see a lot of the gray. If you look over here, that's all gray. I didn't use a gray dye. I used a black dye. So if you looked at the skein, you might be like, oh, she used some gray and some black, but I did not. It was one dye. All of that to say, when I speckled the black dye on top, for the yarn that's above the water and the dye doesn't move around so much, it's gonna just sit and stay as black because there's no water there to dilute it. Whereas some of the dye that got into the water, that spreads it out, so now the black dye kind of becomes more gray. Hope that makes sense. So that's kind of how you get the different textures of the black. So I knew that was going to happen, so I was fine with applying the black and getting that gray texture. Maybe that's the only thing I control during this whole thing, is that knowing that my black would be gray. So I let that kind of happen, and then I left the rest of the skein as is. So again, because I had a lot of it piled up, it probably looked like the skein would not have stayed very white, but I do have a lot of white in there, again, because the yarn is like scrunched in there, the dye doesn't have room to move into it, and so it was able to stay. So it's really fun when you take a black dye, right, and you still end up with white yarn in there. Another magical thing about yarn dyeing. So anyway, that is it. So I probably talked about this for longer than I dyed the skeins for, because I literally did not think much about it. Like, I'm thinking about them more now than I was at the time. But yeah, even when you just have fun, there's still so much to look at and think about. And I hope that you guys enjoyed that little trip. these were not made to go together by any means. Do they? Sure. You know, they're not against each other. Would I pair them up? Probably not. But yeah, 2 fun skeins. So if you enjoyed this vlog, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel here. If you are interested in any of these skeins, remember the only way to purchase them is through the Dye With Me Club, and if you're watching this live, those clubs will reopen tomorrow. Otherwise, they should already be open. The way to guarantee your spot in the club is to sign up early in the month. It just helps me plan how many skeins I need to dye up, because I do try not to have rollover month to month. So I try to dye how much I think will be needed that month, and then after that I kind of close it up until the next month. So for those of you who don't, for those of you who don't know what the Dye With Me Club is, it's an ongoing subscription-based club that you can cancel at any time. So there's no, once you cancel, you never pay another penny again. You, there's no like, oh, you need to be signed up for this amount of time, or like every gym where like, oh, you need to pay for 1 more month. Why? I don't know, but they make you pay for 1 more month. Maybe I should do it. Maybe that's the business knowledge that I need in life. Charge people 1 more month. Anyway, you do not pay for 1 more month in my subscription plan. The second you cancel it, it's canceled, you don't pay again. But it will renew every single month on the 1st of the month. It will renew on the 1st of the month every single month while your subscription is active. And so what happens is when your order renews on the 1st of the month, you get charged for it, you get that renewal notice, and I will send you a 1 skein of yarn from a previously aired Dye With Me vlog. So everything is something you've seen before. This is not mystery by any means. It's all Dye With Me's that have already happened. And I price them cost effectively, so they're a really great deal for a hand-dyed skein of yarn. I do say that I don't guarantee it to be an 100-gram skein of yarn. There's really no guarantees on what you get. It's usually, I would say it's been like, what, 95% of the time that it's been an 100-gram skein of yarn. And I typically have been doing it mostly on sock and some DK, just kind of like mirroring the sales that I get in my shop. So if you are interested, I will have a link to the Dye With Me Club in the description box. If you have any other questions, let me know. I know I got some questions recently asking me to give more details around it, so I hope that helps. It's not really much to it. If you like the vlogs, it's basically the yarn that I dye in these Dye With Me vlogs. That's how you can kind of buy them. There's no guarantee on what skein you receive every month, but I do take requests. Requests are on a first come, first served basis. So in order to make your request, you have to email me at agirlandherwool@gmail.com and tell me what your request is. And again, it's no guarantee that that's what you get. So some people will usually do, ooh, I really liked this one. If that's not available, then, you know, any sock base, they'll do that. Or some people just say like, I'm good with any sock yarn or any DK yarn or anything but this one. I don't know that I've ever gotten that request, but that would be fine if that's what you want to say. So you don't need to do it after every vlog, but what I do is in the last Dye With Me vlog of the month, I show you everything that's that I dyed that month that are the options for the upcoming renewal. So I hope that makes sense. And again, you are more than welcome to ask me any questions. If you are in the club or you plan to be in the club when it next renews on July 1st, and you want to make a request for one of the skeins you saw today, you are more than welcome to do that. And of course you can change your mind. I don't package it up and send it to you until after the 1st of the month, so you have time. But if you want to put your name down for something, you're more than welcome to do so. I do ask, I don't know if I said this, that you put Dye With Me in the subject line. It just helps me find everything nice and easy. So that will do it. Again, if you feel like you enjoyed this video and purchasing yarn is not available to you right now, but you want to support me and my shop, I have links to places where you can donate to kind of my business down below to me, and know that it is sincerely appreciated. I know as a yarn dyer that there's not really a shortage of yarn for you. Like I don't really buy as much yarn personally as I used to, just because I'm often working up samples and also my time just goes to dyeing. So I completely understand if you're here for the dyeing because you're interested in becoming a dyer, or you want to get some inspiration for your own dyeing. Totally love and respect that you are here. Other great ways to support the channel while we're talking about it is to make sure you subscribe, like videos, comment. All of those things help YouTube know that this is a video that they should be recommending to others. And just, you know, word of mouth. Let your friends know about A Girl and Her Wool. And of course, posting on Instagram with A Girl and Her Wool and AGAHW birthday will enter you to win a gift card to the shop. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate having you here, and I appreciate the love for the Dye With Me vlogs. They are not going anywhere because they are so much fun to create and to talk about. So I hope you guys continue to enjoy them as well. You're always welcome to talk to me about potential topics. I'd love to hear your thoughts of what you want to see. And otherwise, you know, just stick around. I think this Friday, what is today? Tuesday. This Friday is a shop update video. It's a much smaller shop update than last time. Thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna stop blabbing and I'm gonna go to sleep. Pretty much. Have a great week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.